Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing 3 of the best biceps exercises you can do with these resistance bands. Now it doesn't matter if you have the loops or if you've got the bands with handles, you'll be able to do all of these exercises. So without further ado, let's get stuck into these band biceps exercises. Now the standing biceps curl would probably be my go-to biceps exercise if I could only choose one with the band. Now, although the technique of this is fairly straightforward, there's still a few common technique errors I see people perform with this all the time. Let's go through with the setup. So to begin with, you're going to stand right on the middle of the band with 2 feet preferably. And from here, we're going to stand nice and tall, so puff your chest out, pull your shoulder blades back a little bit, and from here, we're going to curl the band up towards our shoulders and all the way back down again. And that probably brings up the first technique error I see with this, and that's people not going through a full range of movement. You want to go all the way from your hips, all the way up to your shoulders, or as high as you can. If your resistance band is a little bit tight, you may have trouble with that very top region of the curl. Now, the second technique error I see go wrong with this, and this isn't specific to band curls, this is all curls really, and that's the torso not staying tall and rigid. So what that would look like is a little bit of bend forward at the beginning and a little bit of lean back at the end. So from here, you can see I'm swaying forwards and backwards, and I'm making it fairly obvious, but all it takes is a little pump like that, and you're taking away some of the work that the biceps could otherwise be doing. So to make this as effective as possible, stay nice, tall, and proud through the whole movement. The third and final technique error I see with this is the position of the elbows. So we want them to stay locked by our side the whole time. It's basically not going to move whatsoever. But all it takes is a little bit of movement forwards or backwards, and it takes away some of the work that those biceps could be doing. That is much easier to me than keeping it locked right by my side. Now, I'm using the band with handles. If I had the choice between the two, this would be the band that I would use, but you can use the loops. There is one advantage to the bands, other than them being more comfortable because you've got something to actually grip onto. But the one advantage is that we can change our grip throughout the movement. We can start here in a neutral grip, and then we can supinate our palms to come towards us. And that just helps us hit both heads of the biceps a little more effectively than keeping them supinated the entire time, which you kind of have to do with the band just so that you can grip it in the right way. So the horizontal biceps curl is a great variation to put into your biceps training routine. It's got a different feel to doing something like a standing biceps curl. You do need something to anchor your band to. So I'm lucky I've got something I can just throw my band over here. If you've got a pole, you might either wrap it around, or if you've got a loop, tie it on there. But if not, maybe something like a door jamb might be something that's good to invest in. They're really cheap, you can get them on Amazon, and that way you can just hook it in, close your door, and then you can anchor your band anywhere around your door frame. So to perform the horizontal biceps curl, we anchor our band, take a good couple of steps away so that we've already got a little bit of tension before we even start our biceps curl, and you want to be in a staggered stance. The more resistance you have, the more you're going to have to lean back to counteract that resistance. So with a staggered stance, we can keep a fairly upright posture no matter what stage of the curl we're in. So from here, our arms are extended completely horizontal, and we keep our elbows where they are as we pull that band right in towards our shoulders. So we want a very full range of movement with this. Now, there's 2 ways you can go wrong with this. One I've already mentioned, and that is moving our upper body while we're doing this exercise. So we want to stay as rigid and as tall as we possibly can. And the other is keeping those elbows right where they start, right out in front of you. We don't want them to drop down, raise up. We're just going to keep them still, right hanging out there in front of us, And if we can do that, we will maximize the amount of work that the biceps will do with that exercise. Now, you can do it with the band with handles, you can do it with an exercise loop as well. They're both great. So whatever you've got, go ahead and use it and enjoy the horizontal biceps curl. So the band preacher curl is definitely one of the best biceps exercises you can do with a band. Now, what I've got set up here is probably the optimal setup for this exercise. You can't get much better than this. I've got the band anchored down about 45 degrees away from where I'm going to be doing my biceps curl, and I've got a nice tall bench here that I can rest my elbow against, but I can also get my armpit right in close to the edge here. So basically my whole upper arm, right from my shoulder down to my elbow, is going to be supported, which means the only muscle that can really do the bulk of the work right now is the biceps. It really isolates the biceps. And because it's a single arm exercise, we're going to work our left and right arm individually, which will help improve any differences we have in strength between our left and right side. So from here, I want to get really snug. Like I said, I want to get my armpit right in there and my elbow touching that bench basically. And from here, I keep everything still and I just move my hand to force the biceps to do all the work. Now, like I said, this is basically the optimal setup. You may find it hard to set this up in your own house or gym. So if you've got something that's a bit lower, maybe your bench isn't as high, maybe you're using a lounge chair or just the back of a chair or something like that, and you've only got something to rest your elbow against, just make sure that this shoulder stays very still. What you don't want is our shoulder coming forwards and then backwards like that, so that we're taking away some of the work that the biceps can do and we're using our body weight and momentum instead. All right, guys, hope that helps with your bicep preacher curl. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video and got a lot out of it. If you'd like to know more resistance bands exercises, then check out some of these videos here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.